welcome to Tapping, the Arkansas Paranormal Network, coming to you live from Van Buren. I am your host, Wayne Inman, and I hope everybody who is out there will enjoy this. We'll be talking about haunted places in Arkansas from this area where we're at, and maybe some of y'all can learn some different places that you might want to go and do some investigations, because these places are all available to do investigations. So, I want to thank everybody for joining me. If you're joining me on the Facebook, I am glad y'all's here. Got a link up to the radio show in the chat room, or off on, well, you can see it off on the side here where everybody talks. And you can listen to me there if you want to. Anyway, this is Tapping, the Arkansas Paranormal Network. We'll get to the show right now. We are going to start off with Keller's Chapel Cemetery. There have been reports of strange sightings in the chapel and in the surrounding cemetery. Ghostly lights that follow visitors around the cemetery at night. The sounds of babies crying, strange apparitions moving around the cemetery, and unexplained noises are just some of the paranormal reports at this site. That is Keller's Chapel Cemetery in Jonesboro, Arkansas. The Gordon Lights in Gordon, Arkansas. The Gordon Spook Lights is an yellowish glowing orb that appears immediately at night along a railroad tracks. Some say it is a ghost of a railroad worker who was struck by a train and decapitated. Others maintain it is a ghost of railroad foreman who was beaten to death with a shovel by an employee who wanted more hours. The light is said to be the lantern of a ghost who is looking for his head. Reports give this directions as how to reach the area. Take exit I-30 to Highway 53 towards Gordon. As you are entering the city, turn right on the dirt road before the railroad tracks, and follow it until you see a little circular parking area. Follow the tracks to the right west for about a mile. It is between the 4th and 7th trestle the light is seen. Wow. Our next journey will take us to Arlington Resort Hotel in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Although staff believe to tell guests that there are no ghosts in the building, bottles of wine jump off the shelves without being touched. There have been reports of apparitions in old-fashioned clothing wandering the hallways and in the lobbies before simply vanishing. The ghost of a young girl in the pink dress has been seen in the lobby. The ghost of a woman in a wedding gown has been seen staring down into the streets late at night. The ghost of a bellman has been seen wandering the 4th level, who walks through closed doors before disappearing. The ghost of a man in black suit has been seen in the hotel laundry and often waves to workers. Taps turned on and off by themselves, lights go on and off when there's nobody around, People are brushed against by people who are not there, and ghostly laughter has been seen, and evil presence has been felt in room 824 of the hotel. Our next little journey takes us to Crossett Railroad Tracks, Crossett, Arkansas. A ghostly swinging light appears to be walking up and down the tracks here. Locals say it's the spirit of a man who was hit by a train and was decapitated. His ghost is searching for his head. It is said that the folks who are standing on the tracks will see a light coming towards them. It will disappear when it gets close, then reappear on the other side of them and continue on its way. Our next little journey takes us to the Empress of Little Rock Bed and Breakfast. The ghost of a well-dressed man with a hat has been seen on the stairs and other rooms of his historic home. The ghost of a large woman dressed in pink who stands outside guest rooms. The apparition of an old sea captain has been seen in other guest rooms, and an African-American maid haunts the maid's closet. Phantom footsteps have been heard and doors opening and closing by themselves. Our next little journey takes us to Hitchhiker of Highway 365, Woodson, Arkansas. Why does female hitchhikers appear here on stormy nights, asking passerbys to take her home? Legend has it that when a driver arrives at an address she gives, she simply disappears. When the driver goes to the door and asks about the missing girl, the residents will tell them it happens frequently and their daughter was killed in a car accident. Okay. Our next little journey will take us to Wolf Bay Bridge, Mama Lyle's Bridge, North Little Rock, Arkansas. The bridge was replaced in 2005, but it was an old one from which local legends arose. Folks say that the woman and her newborn died here when she drove off the bridge. Rumor has it that those who go there at night and shout, "Mama Lou, I gave your baby, I got your baby," will have trouble with their car and perhaps, let's see here, it keeps on going, I gotta get it loaded up. Perhaps seeing a floating woman in white nearing the bridge. Hey. Our next little journey will go to Arkansas Methodist Medical Center, Paragould, Arkansas. I believe that's how you say it. I gotta get it uploaded here. Let's see here. The apparition of a blond boy, aged around 5, has been seen on the 4th floor. He wears pajamas and often playing or seeking a kitten. An apparition of a Confederate soldier and another of an elderly female also have been seen in the building. Ghosts have been seen inside as well as on the grounds. Okay. Let's see here. Go back here. Our adventure keeps going. This is the most famous place in Arkansas. the Crescent Motel or Hotel in Hot Springs or Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Ooh, I almost gave you the wrong directions. One of the most well-known haunted places in America is the Crescent Hotel. Has a history that just requires there to be ghosts and haunts associated with it. And the Crescent has plenty. The site of a former hospital run by a con artist who had previously been convicted of practicing medicine without a license. The fraudulent Sawbone premises occur of cancer. Patients walk on their own 2 feet and were carried out feet first. Death was so numerous at the basement house it owned as a morgue, which is a main tourist attraction now, sharing space with the hotel's day spa. Ghost sightings and stories of numerous is not limited at the Crescent. A girls' school room 218 is said to be one of the most haunted rooms, and it is claimed that this is where a famous construction worker died when he fell, striking his head on a stone. In addition, room 419 is said to be haunted by a female ghost that called Theodora, and room 202 and 424 are said to be haunted as well. Staff also claimed that apparitions routinely walk the halls, especially nurses seen pushing people in wheelchairs. The hotel often offers a nightly ghostly tour that will take you through the hotel. Point out that the rooms and stories associated with the building and at the end ends up in the former morgue turned maintenance room. We have stayed. I haven't stayed. We have stayed twice in a Crescent Hotel. I haven't. None of my group have. We want to. We haven't been there. In room 218 and 202, neither time did anything spectacular nature occurred. One of the thing did occur. The jacuzzi tub turned on all by itself in the middle of the night. At first, we thought this was interesting. However, on inspection, the bathroom, including the electric outlets that have been installed in a half in order to fit it into the space right next to the tub, we determined that the jacuzzi turned on was more than due to a very scary electric wiring than any scary supernatural occurrence. The hotel is old and shady and is need of repair. And this is back in 2013. They've done a lot of work since then. And this was some group that stayed there apparently. They reported that. I want to thank everybody who's joined me on Facebook. Here our next journey takes us to Pea Ridge National Military Park. There's not much is short. Some of these are real short. So, on the battlefield in the middle of night, witnesses have heard musket fire and seen apparitions of soldiers from the Battle of Pea Ridge. Some guests to the site have reported feeling of being followed by something unseen. And also got reports of people who's been up there during the day and took pictures and came back with a fog that was out in the middle of the field, which was not there when they took the picture. And some of them say that if you look closely, it looks like horses inside the fog. So I hadn't seen the pictures, but I have had many people that have been up there and they have seen that. Avon Cemetery in DeQueen, Arkansas. A ghostly baby of a mother said to haunt the cemetery. Locals ledge has it if you drop a rock into the well in the center of the cemetery at night, you will hear the baby cry. The baby's mother has been seen running through the cemetery, according to the local tales. Long ago, a woman sat the baby on the edge of the well, and as she was drawing water, and the baby fell in and drowned it. Okay. Monroe Monroe County Courthouse, Clarendon, Arkansas. The 1911 courthouse is rumored to be haunted by Ernest Mabel Ora, a.k.a. Mabel. Mabel and her husband, John Ora, was a husband and wife comedian and opera performer duo. So the stories tell that John had a bad temper and often would beat Mabel quite badly. Feeling sorry for Mabel, one of their servants made a hoodoo potion to kill John. But it didn't work, so Mabel and 4 slaves involved a plan to murder John by gunshot. Soon as John was found shot to death under unknown circumstances, when word of the plot got out, Mabel and her conspirators were servants and were sentenced to hang. But the sheriff took pity to Mabel and offered her another option, a poison made of morphine. She died in her basement cell the night before the hanging. The 4 slaves were hung on the courthouse lawn the next morning. Witnesses say they have heard Mabel dying moans coming from the courthouse basement, and strange lights have said to appear near the levee where the slaves' bodies were carried for burial. Our next little journey is Mayberry Hotel, Royal, Arkansas. This hotel is now abandoned and nearly totally ruined, but the ghost of 1800s Owen David Mayberry is said to haunt this site, seeing that he built the hotel for area prospectors and miners. Gunfights broke out often here, leading to many deaths. David Mayberry himself was shot but not killed, and his shooting led to his unstable mental state. He stabbed his wife to death and burned her body in the fireplace, then drowned their son. Legend has it that you can hear the wife crying at night and hear screaming coming from the bathtub in the basement. Oh, wow. All right, let's see here. Our next little journey takes us to Old Hardy Hotel, Hardy, Arkansas. Old Hardy Hotel reports are unclear as to whether a haunted hotel or antique mall are still in operations. It was up for sale on eBay in October 2008. Former owners report hearing disembodied footsteps closing doors on the second floor. Hallway one room, called the murder room, was the site of a stabbing. A soldier who was staying here in the 1940s got into a fight at the bar across the street. His killer followed him back to his hotel room, climbed onto the roof and creeped onto the room from the balcony. Ghost hunters have caught video of misty shapes and electronic voices phenomenon of a female saying yes. And the employees have seen apparitions. Small children who were visiting have been frightened of something unseen, and witnesses say lights go on and off by themselves, and objects have been known to be moved or disappear. Our next journey takes us to Springfield. This Arch Bridge, Faulkner County, Arkansas. At the Springfield Bridge, an iron balustrade trestle bridge over Camden Creek, witnesses say they have heard a ghostly baby crying, a girl screaming, and other strange noises. I told you some of them were real short. There's one in Bono Bridge, Bono, Arkansas. The bridge was demolished in 2011, and the map shows the original locations. According to the local folklore, those who stood on the bridge and looked down at the railroad tracks below a train was coming had a distant feeling that the train was about to hit them. Apparitions and strange noises are said to occur in the area, erupting from alleged satanic ritual performed in the past. Okay. Our next journey takes us to Woodson Lateral Road Ghost Lights, Hensley, Arkansas. And this is looks like it may be a little short one here. Oh yeah. Local legend had the mysterious ghost lights appear at night and follows cars along Woodson Lateral Road. That's it. So I tell you, some of them are really short. Let's see here. Tiddly Widdly Bridge, Fayetteville, Arkansas. This bridge was demolished in 2010 or 2011. Map shows the location of the former bridge. It is said that the woman in the 1970s drove off the bridge, killing herself and her child. Her phantom car was seen driving across the bridge, and her apparition has been spotted in a white dress. Twinkling in the nearby fields. Other reports say a green goblin creature also appears nearby. Ho ho! A green goblin. Okay, green goblins. Let's see here. Chester House Inn and Antiques. Now, I know where this place is at, and it just sold to somebody else. So, and this is in Chester, Arkansas. I've been in touch with people up there, and they said this motel has new owners, and the new owners are being kind of quiet about things right now, but hopefully they'll reopen it. The 1887 hotel primarily served railroad passengers and workers until the late 20th century. Now a delightful bed and breakfast inn with a adjoining antique store. Employees and guests stay in the establishment and reports of many strange instances of paranormal activity. The place is rumored to have been a brothel in the past, and people passing by have reported seeing a pair of ghostly women in old-fashioned clothing waving at them from the second floor of the building. Locals have surmised that they are Pearl and Ruby, who were both former prostitutes when the place was a brothel between World War I and World War II. The other spook haunted of the old inn is a male presence known as Clarence, who froze to death on the balcony of room 4. Disembodied footsteps supposedly belongs to him have been heard wandering through the building in the small hours. Hear sirens going up the road. Sounds like a pumper truck. All right, let's see. Our next journey takes us to the old state house in Little Rock, Arkansas. Although the museum denies the existence of ghosts here, rumors had that it is haunted by a spirit of a former speaker of the House, John Wilson. His ghost has been seen here by many wearing a period flock coat. Others have reported cold spots or the feeling of cold hands on their shoulders. Some say the ghost is not Wilson, but another politician, Joseph Brooks. Okay. Our next little venture takes us to Shady Grove Cemetery at Bald Knob, Arkansas. One report says that the crickets and grasshoppers refused to set foot in Shady Grove Cemetery. Won't they ask them? No, I'm just joking. A ghost child will put their handprints on cars if you flash your lights 3 times. Okay. New message standing by. Oh, okay. Well, there's the. That's our next journey is Arkansas Tech University, Russellville, Arkansas. Arkansas Tech University. Several locations are rumored to be haunted. One of the Caraway Hall, where students describe noises in the attic, footsteps on the stairs, and whispers in the hallways. There are 2 legends to explain the hauntings. One is that is built on the top of a Cherokee burial site, and others is a female student committed suicide here. Others haunt site the campus is Tucker Collins, who were a star basketball player, was killed in a car accident in 1981. His ghost is said to pull down an auditorium seat and level basketball scatters all over the court. And Weatherspoon Hall says to be haunted by a ghost of a former student who plays the piano in a practice room. Okay. Let's see. Old Redford Road, Sheridan, Arkansas. Old Redford Road is said to be extremely active with spirits. Witnesses have reported apparitions wandering along the road and the cemetery, and electrical items such as flashlights, radios going off or going dead. One of the visitors reported that as they drove past the cemetery, the hood of their car flew open without an explanation. Why? Okay. St. Francis Court Museum, Rush Gates House, Forest City, Arkansas. As of 1997, the 1906 Rush Gates House the St. Francis Court Museum, Dr. J.O. Rush was a doctor, located historian, and collector of more than 3,700 Native American artifacts. The museum is said to be haunted. A ghost tour are available through the local hotel. In addition, private parties can be booked here that allow guests to learn about ghost hauntings. I get it right. Our next little journey takes us to Old Malco Theater, Hot Springs, Arkansas. During a performance in the 1880s, a woman from the audience disappeared during the magic show production. Ever since then, there have been reports of the theater being haunted. The ghost of a glowing woman has been seen in the theater basement. Objects move around by themselves and screams come from the empty theater. Conway Cemetery, Bradley, Arkansas. Conway Cemetery Historic State Park, named after the first governor of Arkansas, James S. Conway, is an 11.5-acre park that includes a half-acre family cemetery where Conway is buried. Witnesses say you can hear disembodied voices here around at midnight at the full moon, perhaps steaming from the nearby trees where it is said that hanging executions were carried out. Wow. Our next little journey, Park Hotel, Hot Springs, Arkansas. People often feel things brush past them that they can't see. There are reports of people being touched and poked in the hotel corridors. Aha. That's all it says. Hickory Valley Methodist Church, Cave City, Arkansas. This church is a small wooden building located near the cemetery across the road. If you approach the church at night, you can hear people singing hymns, but there is no one around. Sometimes the apparitions of a young child can also be seen at the Hickory Valley Methodist Church. Peel Mansion, Bentonville, Arkansas. This historic mansion, built by Samuel Peel in 1875, is said to be haunted by Peel himself and by his daughter, Minnie Bill. Minnie Bill is known to play the piano when no one is in the room. Old Fort Smith Courthouse, Fort Smith, Arkansas. The old courthouse is still standing here. Was the site of many death sentences handed out in the late 19th century. The hanging occurred just outside. It is said that the ghosts of the commended men still roam the area. Collins Theater, Paragald, Arkansas. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry. A ghostly older couple has been seen sitting in the balcony during rehearsal. They have believed to be the former owners of this theater. Possum Walk Cemetery, Hartman, Arkansas. Awesome Walk Cemetery is reported to have gates that are hot and to touch, even in winter, and witnesses have heard footsteps walking behind them and seen apparitions out of the corner of their eyes. Johnson Sanders Mansion, Jonesboro, Arkansas. This house was built in the 1800s, was occupied mainly by Johnson's family, a wealthy retail family, and later by the Sandersons, who served Johnson's as the city mayor family. It has served as mainly residents, including Arkansas State student renters, but also as a tea room. Seances and Ouija boards have been present here. Oh, goodness gracious. But one of the homeowners would lived here and brought about some odd, unexplained occurrences, including a time when a Murray public show was on TV about Ouija boards that would not turn off of any television set in the house. Another was a daughter of a friend that was sassing off to her mother in the house and then got hit very hard upside the head by an unseen force and had to go to the hospital. It is told. There is a large closet upstairs. Some older Jonesboro residents remember playing as a child. One lady recalls that she would never play in the closet. There was something about that I didn't like, she says. Another has similar stories, but about the same closet. During the board used, there were two spirits that identified themselves. One was Bobby, and the other one was Andrew. Records show a Bobby passed away and is buried in the neighborhood cemetery. There was no records of Andrew. There are accounts of doors opening, closing, music, harps that play by themselves, cold drafts, and movement in upstairs bedrooms and hallways. The most disturbing was sight of a hooded figure moving a wardrobe across the room in the middle of the night after furniture had been rearranged earlier that day. Wow. Witches Hollow Cave City, Batesville, Arkansas. Named because folklore says a witch once practiced her magic here. Witches Hollow is said to be haunted by a deceased witch who once murdered her husband. She has been seen walking along the dirt road of Santon Road. Some reports saying that to get there, one must pass Thunder Hill Lane and follow the faint dirt road at the right. Must be a one-lane road. Hudson State University, Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Hudson State University is said to be haunted by the ghost of a student who fell in love with a girl from Revival College. His friends made fun of him, and under pressure from them, he broke it off with her. The girl was heartbroken and committed suicide. As legend has it, the girl ghost comes to visit every year during homecoming week. She is known as the Lady in Black. Liberty Baptist Church Cemetery, Batesville, Arkansas. Strange lights and apparitions of the elderly woman in a rocking chair in the upstairs window of the church have been reported. The ghost of a young woman killed nearby in the early 1900s also have been seen. and the apparition of a small boy has appeared in the photographs taken of at the cemetery. Fort Chaffee, Fort Smith, Arkansas. This historical site, now an Army National Guard station and training center, is reported to be haunted. This site, which experienced major fires in 2008, has also been used in several films, including Soldier's Story in 1984, Biloxi Blues in 1988, the Tuskegee Airmen in 1995. Elvis Presley also stopped here on the way to his basic training. The apparition of a strange phenomenon experienced here promoted its appearance on the TV show Ghost Adventures. Basement Park Hotel, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. A haunted tour is offered here, and the hotel even has its own ghost, including a young woman with blonde hair and blue eyes, and a toddler-aged girl wearing pigtails and a yellow dress. Witnesses have also reported orbs and objects that move by themselves. Mount Holly Cemetery, Little Rock, Arkansas. The spirits of a Confederate soldier and a Native American Indian have been reported in the cemetery at night. Tombstones often move around the grave by themselves, and then the ghostly noise of a flute playing has been heard in the early hours of morning. The Allen House, Monticello, Arkansas. This Gothic mansion in Monticello was built in 1900 at the turn of the century and has many recording incidents of haunting reports. Main ghost, however, it is that of a young woman who haunts the upper and lower floors of the mansion. The ghost roams around the hall, often standing beside the people before vanishing and reappearing elsewhere in the house. Footsteps and voices come out of the fourth floor, which has been closed off. Photos have shown an apparition peering out of the window on the third, but his presence cannot be attributed to that of the young woman. Ouachita Baptist University, Arkadelphia, Arkansas. Many unexplained events have been reported here, including orbs that show up in the basement, phantom eyes in the room, blood on dorm walls and dorm windows that break from no apparent reason. Okay. Ouachita River Factory, Camden, Arkansas. Little known about the operation of this factory, but various paranormal events have been reported here. Various orbs have been reported, as well as apparitions that vanish when approaching. Doors open and closing by themselves, and lights go on and off of their own accord. Voices and old-fashioned telephones have also been heard at night. Capitol Hotel, Little Rock, Arkansas. The ghost of the laborer may haunt the building, as well as the apparition of a young woman who fell to her death. She's often appeared in guest rooms or moves around luggage. Wails and screaming from others also have been reported in various parts of the building. Rialto Theater Music Hall, El Dorado, Arkansas. The 1929 theater closed in 1980, then was restored and reopened again in 1987 to show movies. It closed again in the early 2000s, as now has been opened again, and present musical performance. The historical building has shared of haunts. Employees say they have heard footsteps, seen apparitions, and smell of waft, of ghostly cologne and restrooms upstairs. The site has been featured on the TV shows. Wow, okay. Let's see here. Collins Theater. I've already read that one. Southern Arkansas University. In Bussey Hall, the ghost of a female student who hung herself in one of the rooms in the 1950s is said to appear in the Horton Theater. The ghost of the student actress who was killed by a train on her way to her starring performance has been seen walking along catwalk during the performance. Evergreen Cemetery. It is said that those who go to the cemetery at night are standing underneath a large statue of an angel will find that she is looking right at them and her eyes may light up red. Oh wow. Carter Bridge, Carter, Arkansas. Witnesses have experienced a number of spooky things at the bridge. The ghost of a woman being chased by hounds, apparitions of children playing on the tracks below the bridge, disembodied footprints, and the sound of a phantom baby crying. DeSoto Rock and Gift Shop, Hot Springs, Arkansas. We have had several paranormal investigations in the last 4 years that have yielded EVPs, images caught on digital cameras, as well as infrared security cameras. We have had customers post some of their experiences on Facebook page DeSoto Rock and Gift Shop. One experience that was unique was when I was in the shop by myself. I wasn't there. I am very particular about wiping the makeup off of my phone before I put back on my face. So I wiped it off and set it on the edge of the desk. I was unpacking some of the merchandise, and at half an hour, I picked up the phone, and there was a handprint on my phone. You might say, well, I could have set your hand on the phone not knowing. I thought to myself, I tried to put my hand in the same position. I could not make my fingerprints small enough to match. I had the first customer that came in take a picture of my phone. I have recently sent this photo to a paranormal investigation team that has photo connections. Will be see what happens. Moore Hill Cemetery, Dardanelle, Arkansas. Locals swear that if you hang around Hovis gravestone at night, you'll eventually find the ghost of a man who killed his wife. Beno's Brew Pub, Little Rock, Arkansas. Beno's Pizza and Brew Pub is an eating entry room to be haunted by an unknown entity. Witnesses have heard strange voices and other noises and felt cold spots. Chairs that were stacked at night have been unstacked when the employees returned the next morning. They're just trying to help. Old Bigelow Gym, Bigelow, Arkansas. Down the road from Bigelow High School, there is an old recreational gym there. If you go into the attic of the old gym, you can hear a scream of a young boy who died there long ago. There is also a sound of a piano playing, and where there is no one around. Well, let's see here. See, our journey keeps on going. Forum Theater, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Originally built in 1926 as Stand Theater, it was occurred by the city of Jonesboro in the late 1970s and renamed to the former theater. It is said to be haunted by a mischief ghost named Charlie. In at Kearney Hall, Fayetteville, Arkansas. Originally built in 1905, a woman's dorm, the building now houses 50-room hotel and Ellen's French restaurant. Witnesses have seen a floating apparition of a woman in a gown without a head or feet and intentions on the bed as someone was sitting on it. Other phenomena noted here include photos that show reflections of a ghost in furniture and lights that turn on themselves. Let's see here. Radar Road Phantom, Rogers, Arkansas. Locals have reports seeing a phantom horse and rider on the outskirts of the city of Rogers. Short and simple. Jones Cemetery, Camden, Arkansas. The late 1800s house across the street from the cemetery, according to local folklore, was long ago the home of a young girl who was beaten and starved to death by her parents. This house is private property. Please respect the current owner's privacy. This girl is said to have been buried in the cemetery. Folks have heard and sound of beating coming from the house and experienced strange mechanical things happening to their cars as they pass by or visits the cemetery. Old Arsenal Building, Little Rock, Arkansas. Reports sightings of ghosts on the staircase in the basement of this historical building. That's all it says. Baker House Bed and Breakfast, North Little Rock, Arkansas. Built sometimes between 1916 and 1917, this historic bed and breakfast is haunted by several ghosts associated with the building's past. Cold spots, doors opening, closing, and sounds of ghostly children playing are just some of the phenomenon reports here, along with a woman in white who appears during the weddings and a phantom construction worker simply known as Jeffrey. And this one here, well known. King Opera House in Bayard, Arkansas. Alleged haunted by a ghost of a young actor who was killed by an angered father who objected to the actor's intentions to elope with his daughter. The King Opera House, they will not let paranormal people in there to do investigations. So don't try. I can tell you for a fact, for experience, and knowing the people, they will not let anybody in there to do any investigations. We've been trying for many, many years, and we get the same answer. Nope. When we come to our end here. Pinkburn Hardware. We've been to Pinkburn. We did an investigation there in Pinkburn, Arkansas. Very haunted little place that we went to. You can hear noises and shufflings in the attic, and it is a very old building, and it has been around forever, over a century. All right. Well, we had come to the end of the haunted. Well, some. I don't know if this place has all the haunted places in Arkansas, but it's pretty close. So anyway, I hope everybody enjoyed the little show we had. Wasn't very long. We'll be doing another show. Let's see, Tuesday. I believe I see it. Yeah, we'll be doing a show Tuesday. We may do this again on Tuesday. We may be reporting on haunted places in your neighborhood. So join us then. And I want to thank everybody for joining me on Facebook. I want to say hello, everybody on Facebook. Sorry I haven't been paying attention to the chat on the Facebook thing, but I see Angela, Susan, Tanya has been there, and I hope several other ones have been there as well. Anyway, like I said, everybody be happy, be safe, traveling to and from your investigations, and always be protected before you go to do your investigations. We don't want to get in trouble that way. And always get permission to go where you're going. Don't set bad names for them ghost hunters. All right. I want to thank everybody for joining me. And I'm going to end the radio show here. So everybody on the Facebook, stand by. And we'll have more updates.